Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper and today we're going to talk about a day cream. We are going to talk about a day cream from Nivea. We are going to talk about a day cream that has an SPF of 50 in it, and it looks like this, and it is one that Nivea they call cellular, and what they are talking about here is that basically they are calling it Luminous 630, and the reason for that is that this is something that is working on a cell level, or they claim that there is a hyaluronic acid in this product here, and that is very well, but they say that it is a cell activating, and then they put a little star, and then they say, well, actually when we see it in vitro, so in the lab, so maybe not in real life, but okay. So here we have something that is supposed to help us with dark spots and that sort of thing, so sun damage. And what they say here is that they have actually tested kind of like I think it was 50,000 different molecules, and they found that number 630 was the most active one, so a bit of a shame to have tested all those after number 630. So number 630, that was apparently the one that is working on the skin, in the sense that it worked on melanin, so it will help with already existing melanin spots on the skin, and in order to prevent new ones from forming. And the product they are talking about, or the molecule that they are talking about, they call it Luminous 630, and it says here on the front, but in the ingredients list it is called something like Thiazolyl Resorcinol, or that is what I think is what they call it in the ingredients list, because that is a name I have not seen before, and all the other names in the ingredients list look quite familiar. So when I looked that up, then I see that that molecule is actually something that is inhibiting tyrosinase, and tyrosinase is something that is needed in the skin in order to produce melanin. So if you have something that is inhibiting tyrosinase, then you are not making melanin in your skin in principle, but I'm sure that some will be produced. And just a little thing, I say you should not put it in your hair unless you want gray hair. So this one here is an SPF of 50. And when I spotted this one here when I was out shopping, I noticed that it has this SPF of 50, and immediately I thought, well, how much is that gonna affect the look of your skin? Because usually when you have something that is an SPF, particularly an SPF of 50, then there is a lot of these sun filters in the product, and what that means is that your skin will be relatively a lot greasy. But usually when people are looking at something like a day cream, then they are not using as much as if it was a sunscreen. But in order to get the effect of an SPF of 50, you need to use as much as if you were using a sunscreen, or else you have to use a sunscreen on top, and then there was no really point in putting an SPF in the product in the first place if you're going to use a sunscreen on top. So the sun filters in this product here, they are the usual suspects, and then there are some of these modern ones that are not approved by the FDA, so you cannot get it in America, but I'm sure you can order it and have it shipped over. So this one here, I thought, will it be a little bit greasy? So I tested it when I came home, and I looked at some of the ingredients, and in this product here there is the ingredients that is silica and dimethicone, and usually they help with controlling the greasiness. Maybe not a methicone per se, but it kind of like has a similar sort of effect, a sort of a silky feel effect on the skin, so that kind of like sometimes helps with controlling oiliness to a certain extent. So when I tried this, I put it around my eyes, and I actually put it on top of my eyelids as well, in order to make sure that it would not sting my eyes. So we will talk a little bit about that later, if it sting your eyes or if it doesn't, and how greasy it kind of like will be on the skin. So if we first try it, then it has a bit of a color. So how much should we use? Well, I have a little spoon here, and there is 1 milliliter in it, and I need 1.25 milliliter for my entire face. So that will be kind of like, I think it was a 4.5 pump or something like that. So we will just measure it, and we can see the color at the same time, because there is a bit of a pigment in here. So it is a bit, it's not that liquidy. So kind of like, if you look like here, it kind of like keeps its shape. So it's a little bit difficult to actually get it to fill the whole spoon. But it was about 4 and a little bit more. So we just kind of like even it out a little bit. Like that, and then I need a little bit more. So I think it was kind of like maybe 4.5 pump or 4 1/3 or something like that. So you can see it has a little bit of a tint or color, but it's not a tinted product as such. But I think in order to disguise the color of Tinosorb S, which is one of the sun filters that are in the product here, which has a sort of a yellow tone. They have added a little bit of some red pigment to the product in order to make it maybe a little bit more orangey than yellow, so it matches my skin a little bit better. So I thought they must have had people like me in their minds when they were producing this product, and not people that have a dark skin. So yeah, that's a little bit of a shame. But I would say when I tested it on my skin, I don't think that this is something that will show up as such on your skin. But I haven't tried it on dark skin, but it's not like you have these iron oxides in it, or you have titanium dioxide in it or something like that makes it really white, or gives this sort of a white cast on the face. So we need to put all this stuff on the face, and on the neck as well, of course, and on the ears. But you don't need that much of the product on your ears, because well, unless you are an elephant, then most of the stuff will go on your face. So we try here. I put it on like that, and today I don't have a day cream on. I only have my serums on, and I did not put any cream on because this is a day cream, so we need to test it as a day cream. So I would not put a day cream on top of a day cream. So here goes. So you can see it has a sort of a whitish color, and has a little bit of a tone that is similar to my skin, though it looks really, really white. I'm sure you will notice. But when I streak it out, it goes really sort of, it blends into my skin pretty easily, and I don't think that it gives a sort of color to the skin. I think it's just the ingredients, the color they have put in is just to make it look maybe a little bit more appealing than just white, or I really don't know why they put this color in, but they must have thought it was a good idea, that it maybe looked a bit more appealing to people that have the skin tone that I have. So they didn't, as I said before, not think about people with a darker skin tone. So we put it on here, and yes, oops, I got something in my hair. Oops. So it happens, and I kind of like do it like this. Well, it is a bit difficult to see on this side here. Yeah, so take the rest of it, put it on, and there's a little bit more. So yes, it is rather a lot, and you can see it is empty now. So we put something down here. So yeah, as I normally say, we are fair to the product. I don't want to put stuff on my ears, kind of like, not today, I'm not going into the sun anyway. So yeah, we put stuff on like this. And does it have a perfume? Yes, it does have a sort of perfume, and I would say it reminded me a little bit of something from Elizabeth Arden. They had these also some sort of cellular working cream with the ceramides. It smells a little bit like that, and yet not. So today I will not put it on my eyelids, because it was during the day. I tested it the whole day the other day. I tested it a little bit before, but then I tested it again yesterday to make sure how it would work during the whole day. Because what I actually felt was that because there is this silica in it, and there is the dimethicone and maybe some other stuff in there that might make it really actually working rather well on the skin. I thought it would not annoy my eyes, but just to make sure, I tested it for the whole day. And I will say, when I had it on the whole day, it started to creep into my eyes. But the thing is, they most likely will say that you should not put it on your eyelid, you should not put it too close to your eyes. No, but I need to have some sort of SPF around my eyes anyway. So should I just mix it with something else, or that could go around my eyes, and then keep this stuff kind of like down here or something like that? Well, it is a little bit how should you go about using various creams on your face in order to get something around your eyes that is actually working without stinging your eyes, and then having this stuff on the rest of the face. But as you can see now, it starts to be relatively matte looking on the skin, and it does become a lot more rigid, kind of like if there is a lot of silica in the product. And yes, there is silica in the product. How much, obviously, I don't know, but it's kind of like midway in the ingredients list. But I would say it is in a way that it is possible to smear it very easily over the entire face without it kind of like drying up too quickly, as some sunscreens. This is not a sunscreen, it's a day cream with an SPF in it. But some sun creams that are for oily skin, they kind of like dries up really quickly and can be a little bit difficult. But now you see, this sinks actually in very well on my skin. So for that I said, well, this looks really promising. So it was a matter of finding out if it would sting my eyes. But normally some sun creams, they have these normal sun filters in it, and these are the usual sun filters that you encounter when you buy some sort of modern and not modern sun screen, and it will annoy your eyes. But because this kind of like sits very well put on your skin, it will not migrate that easily as some other sunscreens they do. So for that it worked relatively well. But if you look at the price, I would say this is around I think it was around the £30 mark or something like that. I got it a lot cheaper because it was on sale in Waitrose, and that's where I bought it. But the thing is, you get 40 milliliters, and if you have to pay around 30 or maybe £25 or something like that, in that range, this will be very expensive. But of course, you can use it as a sunscreen and a day cream all in one, and maybe then it's not that expensive, because then you don't need two different expensive creams. You can just have one expensive cream that may be a little bit more expensive than if you were buying each of the other creams that you might normally be using. But still, I would say, because it annoys my eyes, this is not something I'm going to use again. And what I found is that instead of using this one here, then they actually have a serum as well. I have not tried out this serum, but I feel that that is something, if I wanted the ingredients in here, the one that is working on the tyrosinase, so that is inhibiting the tyrosinase enzyme, then I would rather go for the serum instead and use that before I use any of my normal creams and a sunscreen on top. Or you can maybe just use a sunscreen that is a moisturizing sunscreen. I use the one from La Roche-Posay, which I've spoken about before, and that gives a kind of like a really nice moisturizing effect. But it is a little bit greasy, so yeah, it is a little bit of a choice between two evils. But I will say this one here is, I would say, a little bit expensive when you have to use that much in order to get the correct SPF that is working as a SPF of 50 on your face. So there is just that little thing. There is perfume in it, and it might not be a strong perfume, but I would say it is relatively flowery. It is something where I'm thinking, I don't know, flowery, and it lingers. It is kind of like maybe you get used to it a little bit, but then you just walk around and then you move your head and oh, you can just have the smell again. And yes, I think there's no need to put perfume in the product really. But that aside, I will say that when you look at my skin now, it has a sort of silky, sort of a mattified look, and it does feel relatively matte, if you can feel matte. It feels non-greasy, so for that I think it works really well. Just don't put it too close to your eye. So I would say this is some sort of a good contender for having a sunscreen or something with an SPF of 50 in it that is not overwhelmingly greasy. So actually I thought maybe Nivea, they could make a cream with La Roche-Posay, because La Roche-Posay, they use some of these very good UV filters that are not stinging in your eyes. So they could maybe learn a little bit of the technique that Nivea have in order to make the cream or the sunscreen sunscreen feel really nice on the skin and not greasy at all. So maybe it is just because they're using a lot of silica in the product and have something else in it maybe that makes it easier to smear around, even though there is a lot of silica in the product. Who knows? Well, it is not something I'm going to buy again, but I will be trying the serum and see how that works. So we can look at that in another video. So yes, this is not something I will be buying again. I think it's a little bit expensive because you need to use it rather a lot. And I think it might be that Nivea, they say, well, you're not supposed to use that much. You just use a little bit, like if you use a moisturizer, yes, but then you don't get the SPF of 50. So that is something we need to be a little bit careful with. So yes, that was my verdict on this product. So if you'd like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell and do all those things so you will also be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.